moments like this, I have 3 devices in front of me. My tablet, 2 laptops. My one laptop won't connect to Foundry. And I'm running the game through another laptop over here, which is out of sync with the other laptop that eventually did log in. So I'm having all kinds of issues all of a sudden. Just bear with me. Again, it's technology. Technology is doing me in more than the game. It's frustrating. All right, let's see where you are. Let me see what's up ahead. Everybody's going to be asking, what happened to the game? Where'd they go? But we should be back now. Says online. Twitch, YouTube, and is it using the same title? If I connect quick enough, it'll keep it as one video and not a separate video or a separate stream video. Let me see. Nope, made a separate one. All right, let me do one thing here. No, it did keep the title. Good. Just a different picture. Sorry, folks. I accidentally shut my stream down. So I'll have to edit this and put the parts together. But okay, onwards. You travel. Dane, you're in the lead. You travel up 5, 10, 50, about 10 feet. Well, you could see it as soon as you enter this corridor, but about 10, 15 feet up ahead in the north, you see what looks like another hole in a wall, an entrance to another chamber ahead, only 15 feet ahead. You move forward, group in tow. Let me move your token to right about there. And you make your way into this chamber, I assume, correct?
Yeah.
So everybody move your token up ahead. You won't see him because it's all darkness. There's a wall there. Actually, I could fix that if I take that little... Oh, Valifor moved in. How'd you get in there?
I just moved one at a time.
How'd you get in there? I thought it was blocked. All right, there we go. Don't move all the way into the chamber, please.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you. As Dane steps into the chamber, there you see what looks like a throne. Yes, a throne. With something seated upon it. And there next to the throne you see a familiar sight. Another one of those mushroom-eyed creatures flanking the throne with a creature on it. A sofa-like throne, in fact, made of an old mattress. You can see that clearly, Dane. Several pieces of reconstructed furniture and dozens of bones sprawl along the northern side of this room, straight in front of you, Dane. A narrow rivulet of muddy water trickles down from a narrow tunnel to the south and forms a puddle in the room's center. You stand in that southern portal.
Dane will stand off to the edge where it's not watery.
Okay, you can move over. And as you do, you are spotted by this creature sitting upon the throne. And the rest of you hear this. Whoever was following Dane can also see this. Well, let me move you where you actually would be. Dane, you're going to be right here as you... this is why I paused the game. Exactly. That's exactly where I envisioned you. As Dane steps to the side, to the left, along the wall, keeping distant from the creature in the seat. Valifor, you see what he sees, and you step into the room. Now, behind him, whoever's behind Valifor, that would be Zion and Elias. You're not sure what's going on. You don't really see this at the moment. But Valifor and Dane, you see this.
Uh-oh.
We got some bug-eyed dudes up here.
Mm-hmm. The bug-eyed
That's going to yell
dudes.
back to Elias. Brace for combat.
All right, let me get my foundry back up and running. I got a voice for this guy and everything. Hold on. Hold on. Can you see that all right? Can you see what I'm talking about, Dane and Jesse?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't think the other players can see that. They might be able to. I don't know. They're bringing up the rear. They wouldn't see it anyway. All right, let me check something else here. My note. There we go. Farley, you're not here. Zion, you hear this, Zion, and you can discern what's being said. It's spoken in Undercommon. As Dane and Valifor, this creature in the throne stands up slowly, looking in your direction. He's staring right at you. And he says, "Greetings, invaders. How can I help you?" And he sounds very diplomatic. But let me show you a picture of him. And everybody will be able to see this. Oh, I can't. I don't have the macro on this computer. Let me look him up. One second. Of course, the picture of him looks quite threatening, which he isn't really at the moment. There it is. Let me see if I could share this image. Okay, I'm going to share this. He looks more like he's jumping off his throne, attacking you, but he's not at the moment. But this is what he looks like.
Kind of looks like a giant mosquito.
Yeah. You guys are bringing bright light into this chamber as well, and as you do, he does kind of cover his eyes briefly, puts his arm down, and that's when he says, "Greetings." "What brings you into my home?" he says to you, Dane. Now, Dane,
Common?
no, you can't understand him. I'm going to assume Zion, yeah. Zion hears this. So, Patrick, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do when you hear this? You can't exactly see what's going on. You're right behind Valifor, so you can kind of peek into the room.
Yeah. Zion will... I believe Elias is behind me, so Elias would see Zion tilt their head in confusion and like curiosity before like essentially just like translating the words. Like they said, "Greetings, gentle people. What brings us to his abode?"
He drove a people from their home. We're here to take it back. Surrender is an option for him.
Should I shout that out to him?
Yes.
Okay. Zion, hiding behind Valafor's big armor, is going to go in Undercommon. We were sent here as diplomats. We want the home back. Don't hurt us.
What? Can all you guys see this? Let me bring the torch in the chamber. You should be able to click on the torch and see what's going on in here, so at least you got some idea. I know Elias is kind of in the back. Right? Dun, 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 dun. All right. What?
He's gonna perk up an Elvish and ask what their purpose is, just to see if this thing recognizes the Elvish language.
It cocks its head as you speak such strange words, Dane, like it doesn't understand you. Now, let me get this straight. Zion, you're actually kind of nudging your way forward into the room and speaking to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like aside or behind Valafor.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and speak your piece.
We come here as friendly diplomats.
Diplomats, you
Only
say?
wishing,
Diplomats
yes.
of who? Who do you represent?
The good people of the Gauntlight.
Ooh, the Gauntlight.
Yes.
You mean this tower, perhaps?
Yes.
Ah.
Well, may I ask who it is we have the pleasure of speaking to?
Me? I am the great Growlgust. I serve the Ghost Queen of our people. You know.
Raugost?
Growlgast, thank you. And just then, you see one of those other creatures that you've encountered before. He's obviously one of them as well, these mushroom-eyed, pasty fellows. Next to him seems to be one that's like a servant of sort, who immediately begins rubbing his feet as Growlgust is his name, seats himself back down into his little throne. Go on, tell me more. Tell me more. What is your name? And he looks at you intently, Zion.
I am Farly-Tel, and I'm here to bring peace among all people of the Gauntlight, and bring worship to the Ghost Queen, Belcora.
Ha! And with that word, he grimaces, and he screams in your direction, "Silence! You will not speak that name here!" And he stands up from his throne as he says this and points towards you. "Never speak that name!"
Oh, I apologize. We were informed by the gremlin folk that the Ghost Queen was the person of that name. It seems they are nothing but cowardly liars.
These gremlins you speak of, who would they be?
Do we know their name?
And he shakes his head. You mean those little greasy blue creatures, perhaps? that we chased from
yeah,
here.
King Scrong. That's the name we're looking for.
Suddenly he turns away from you, Zion, and kind of tilts his head towards Elias as he speaks up from behind Valifor, and turns back to you, Zion. So tell me, do you think you're worthy to serve the Ghost Queen? Surely that's why you make your way here. And he seats himself back down on the throne, and the servant begins rubbing his feet, eyeing you cautiously. Rubbing Gravelgust's feet, that is.
Oh, okay. He's like a pedicurist, essentially. I thought like he was like sitting down on the ground, raising his feet, and then rubbing his feet together, and then standing back up like it was no big deal.
No, I see he's like a servant.
Yeah, okay. That makes more sense now.
Okay.
Okay. So I at this point I sort of like lean over and whisper like a short summary. So like, hey, these guys are like think we're diplomats and that we're here on behalf of the Gauntlight. Do we want to like try and find? They worship some sort of ghost queen. Do we want to like find out more about this? By the way, it's not Corabelle.
Ask him about Master Azrene. That was the name that the doll creature called out that I killed early in the adventure.
Zion ponders for a moment.
Azrene?
Yeah.
You make a note of that, Patrick. Azrene. I think you already did, but that's the name that was revealed to you, and you wanted to research Farly-Tel I'm speaking about.
Yes.
But for you, Patrick, make sure you write that down, because he's looking up that name. Zion has no clue what the heck Azrene is about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they weren't there when that name was dropped. So then we would love to speak and prove our faith to the Ghost Queen. We heard many things through the words of Azrene about their power.
I know no Azrene, but you speak of proving your worth to the Ghost Queen. This intrigues me. How about this, invaders? I would ask you to prove yourself indeed to the Ghost Queen. I will give you a mission. If you are successful, you will indeed prove yourself to the Ghost Queen, a reliable servant. Would you take this mission that I would ask of you? And he kind of tilts his head a little bit, peering in your direction. Elf? How do you reply? Now, the rest of you in this chamber, you don't know what's going on here. You've never heard this language spoken before. But there is definite conversation here.
So I sort of turn to the rest of the group and be like, hey, this guy's Graugast is giving us a small mission to prove ourselves to this Ghost Queen lady. Do we want to hear him out, or should we try and distract him while we get closer?
Do I look like a diplomat? I'm in full battle gear, ready to cleave this fella in half.
I'm
What if
always on
he
the
asks
side
us
to
to
pay
pull the blue
attention.
guy?
What was that?
What if he asks us to kill the blue guys that we're already working for?
Well, then we can easily turn against them.
Mm.
But if we hear him out, it may lead to something else that we don't know about.
I'm with Valifor on this.
So we definitely need to find out what the deal is before we can agree to anything.
Yeah, I think at this point Zion would step forward and be a little bit more upfront.
Okay. He waits patiently. You step forward. Now, because I can't control the movement here of the tokens.
Mm-hmm.
My main laptop just isn't working tonight at all, so I'm going to unpause the game. Just only move when it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I'm just going to move up one step and be in between Dane and Valifor. That's it.
I'm going to remove the torch icon. And Elias, if you want to move up forward a little bit, you could do so. Yeah, put yourself so you can see what's going on, at least a little bit. I know where you actually are, so I'm just going to move you in the room, so you can all get.
Okay.
You can get a scene of this.
Yeah.
And for the folks watching, this is what it pretty much looks like at the moment. All right, go ahead, Zion. You stepped forward. And
Yes, I turned to the party. It seems we're all in agreement on what we want to do. Just making sure.
As long as we're not turning our backs on the blue people, we came here to return to them home.
I give 2 thumbs up and a sheepish smile
sheepish.
to Dane.
Zion, you and I is already on bad terms.
And I turn back and I begin speaking in Undercommon. Oh, Graugoth, brave worshipper of the Ghost Queen, only he who is worthy. We would be honored to hear this mission you grant us. For we are small and weak.
Oh, you're so fake. I should make you make a roll for that.
I'd lean into Dane and Valifor, who are in front of me. I'm like, I don't have to know Undercommon to know he's really pulling it.
Zion's like waving their hands in the air like that, like people that get way too excited at church.
Sounds almost like he's preaching, Elias. Like he's really going at it. I think he was sampling some of your ale there and had just a little too much.
Yeah, we just have to trust that what he's saying is what we agreed upon. Oh God, yep. Elias is getting nervous. Like, what's he telling him?
If only Farley was here. They can speak Undercommon. Oh well. So do you want me to, like, give you a blind deception roll or something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Deception? If you're lying.
I think that's yeah.
Is it actually called deception in Pathfinder?
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, let me make sure it's blind. Yep. There we go. Bing bong.
Okay, let me close this. Bing bong. Alright, there's your roll. And once again, you're basically stepping forward, trying to convince him, yes, we want to prove ourselves, correct? That kind of thing?
Yeah.
How can we do this? He says, he kind of looks at you again. The head cocks sideways, and the servant stops the foot rubbing and looks at you like as if to say, really? And then the one on the throne adjusts himself, stands up. Good. You and your journey here have not been in vain, for I invite you to prove yourself to the Ghost Queen. And with that, he begins to step off of his little throne. And he moves over to the western portion of the room. In front of you, Dane, you can see him. He's only about 5-10 feet away from you, but there, flanking you along the wall, Dane, on the western wall, there is another hole, enough to pass through. You saw it kind of initially, but it is in fact a big... Don't forget to mute yourself when you're not talking. There is a hole there enough to pass through. A human could pass through there. It's another passage. And he stares at you, Dane. He looks to you, Elias, Valafor. And his right hand extends towards the hole. Turns to you, Zion, and speaks. Here, follow this path. Follow this path, and prove yourself worthy. For there is an evil drake who dwells beyond. Defeat him, and you shall be rewarded not only by the Ghost Queen, but also by me, the great Growlgust. And he turns, and he walks back over towards the throne. So basically what's happening is that there's a passage here, right in front of Dane. Right in front of Dane. Similar passage that you kind of entered through, where the stones have been pushed aside and it's, something made its way into here. This is another little path, another little cavern that leads to the west from this chamber. And according to Growlgust the Great, pass that way, head north, where the drake dwells. Defeat the drake, and you should be rewarded not once, but twice. Once by Growlgust himself, and twice, according to him, by the Ghost Queen, for you would have proven yourself worthy as servants of the Ghost Queen. And then he sits back in his throne and invites you to go through and prove yourself. He stares at you, his fingers kind of tapping. Oops, let me get back to the Discord video. Let me get in there. I don't know if my camera's showing. Tap it.
So we're all like, what did he say?
Yeah, you guys don't know what's going on. So I'll leave that to you, Patrick. What does Zion say?
What did you volunteer us for, Zion?
Well, what the great Growlgust wants us to do is to head into that small area he was pointing towards and defeat some sort of evil drake, as he said.
What?
A drake. Oh,
you want us to fight a dragon?
I don't think a dragon and a dragon are the same thing necessarily, but same idea, yes. That's what he wants us to do.
Have you taken leave of your marbles?
Maybe.
This sounds like a good battle to me.
Yeah, where we all get maimed and flayed and burned alive.
Don't worry, Dane. We've got each other's backs. I've got my lay on hands. It'll save us. He starts to cry a little bit, like, "Oh God, we're so doomed." Caden, save us.
Dane will attempt a one-arm hug of Elias. And I've got my healer's tools and my form-fitting bandages. We'll be fine. If they don't roast off.
Yeah, Zion leans in close for like a sort of like group huddle and goes, "Remember, we can just not accept it." Wink, wink.
So what do you think? We take them too and then head off to fight this Drake to clear it out for these blue people, or what do we want to do?
I don't know. Well, maybe the great Galgost, moved because the Drake took his home.
I had the same thought, Scion. It might be a 2 for 1, take care of the Drake, get these guys to move out. The king would be much happier coming back in. It's worth exploring. And we just have to play it, cautiously and maybe strategize.
Should
Maybe.
I ask the great Graugost if we take care of this, will he move back into the area where the Drake is? Should I ask him that? Or should we just...
Yeah.
Okay.
So see what his beef is with the Drake.
Okay, so I turn back around, raise my hands again, and I go, "Oh, great Graugost, my compatriots are too cowardly."
Please, please, spare me, he says from his throne. Do you take up the quest, the charge that I give you? And prove
Maybe I-
yourselves? Please.
May we ask one thing in return?
I'm not sure you're in such a position to ask anything, but what would that be?
If we take care of this Drake, would this space be available for you to perhaps move your throne to? I mean, such a worthy space would be a great shrine to prove the Ghost Queen's power and the power of her followers.
What are you asking if you guys go clear out this Drake and stuff that's gonna allow him and his people to move into that area? Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, yes.
Uh.
And what I'm like offering it as is like, this is a throne to the people that, like almost like a shrine of like a great battle of the Ghost Queen's people. So like, this would be like a great like, man, isn't the Ghost Queen so cool? Thumbs up.
Or like she can use the Drake as a trophy or...
Yeah, essentially. That's how I'm presenting it as, but I am basically asking like, hey, if we take care of this, will you just move in there?
The Drake is a fiendish being. He terrorizes our people. He terrorizes everyone in this cave. I would ask you to prove yourself and defeat him. For us all. This is our kingdom. He is a thorn in our kingdom. We do not have to move. I simply ask you to remove the thorn. Now, will you take it up or not? I grow impatient.
Okay, I turn back around. I turn back around to the party and I go, he says no. He said he says he compares the Drake to a thorn in the Gauntlight side, essentially, that everybody doesn't like this Drake. So if we take care of the Drake, nothing will essentially change, but it'll be good for everybody in the Gauntlight.
Well, if it's good for the Gauntlight, it's probably... Like, what I'm thinking is the Drake might be a good guy. And they're evil creatures trying to get rid of a good Drake or something. I don't know. Just
Possible.
Are
But
Drakes
also-
normally good or bad?
Not that I've ever seen, but also if they're not going to move for the little blue people. Yeah.
Consider taking up this quest. Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, Zion, but if they're not going to leave, negotiations may be over.
I say we tell this guy, yeah, okay, we'll go in there, we'll check it out. We'll make a decision based on what we see in there. If it's too much for us, we can always just come back and slit their throats. Move on.
That's a little graphic, but
Then the
I'm
blue
with
people
you.
can come home.
You're all speaking in common, right? I assume.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
I will agree to that. But if it's too much for us to bear, then we will come back, be rid of them, and the blue people can come home.
Dane the Crusader. So, if you look at your map, you'll see to the west there's a little passageway leading to the west. Do y'all see that?
Oh, pretty.
I'll move the torch in that direction. We use the torch from now on. You can kind of see it right there. If you want to go further in and take up this quest, as you call it, we'll move down that area and we can continue. But is there anything else you want to say to him if you're going to do this and head down that passageway? Is there anything else, Zion?
Any reward?
Zion?
Besides
Yeah.
its grace?
Yeah, the Graugost said he would reward us himself, as well as the Ghost Queen would benefit us, reward us.
He offered much treasure and wealth.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
No? I didn't say
Ask
that.
him, Zion, if we can have a token of his treasure to see that he actually has treasure, that he's not just luring us down to our deaths.
Kind of like what the Gremlin King did. Right? Something like that?
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you say that, Zion?
I look towards Dana and go, we're kind of pushing it right now. He's already growing tired of us. I don't know if we'll be able to get that. But if you want, I can still ask that.
Ask him. He gets much more pushy. I'm going to start pushing back.
Alright, I turn back around to the Graugost and I don't raise my hands because he was already annoyed by that. And I go, Graugost,
The Great Gargost.
the Great Graugost,
Yes.
we would be honored to take your quest if we could perhaps see some of this reward beforehand.
You don't believe me then, do you?
I point to Dane and I go, he does not.
I do not.
You've made this trek all the way to see me for this quest, to prove yourself to the Ghost Queen. Yet now you need proof of my wealth? Strange indeed. He claps his hands. The servant stands up, goes behind the throne. You hear some shifting noises, and comes back around and reveals a stone, a ruby, very similar to the rubies you've seen already presented to you by the gremlins, for the very same reason. There is a glimpse at the treasure awaiting you, but, mind you, this isn't for treasure alone. That is my reward. It is the treasure of serving the Ghost Queen that is the greatest reward. Keep that in mind. The servant puts away the jewel and disappears behind the throne. Comes back around and stands, folds his arms, and stares in your direction, Zion. This is the servant that revealed the jewel. He now stands next to the throne, arms crossed, staring at you. Growlgast, the Great. He says once more, or asks once more, "Do you proceed?" I grow very impatient, as does the Ghost Queen.
I turn to Dane and I give like a thumbs up, thumbs down, like how we feeling.
Very well. Let's go.
I turn back towards the great Galgost and give him 2 thumbs up and a big smile that melts his cold little heart.
You think?
Maybe.
He leans back into his throne. His hands slowly tapping together the fingers. Do you proceed to the west?
All right, let's march up.
All right, my marching order here is Dane, Val, Zion, Elias. Is that good?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Keep yourselves clicked on the torch. Okay. Let me see here. Dane, you lead the way. Your torch lighting 40 feet ahead. It's very narrow. It's very natural.
I can't see the torch anymore.
You can't.
When you went up,
I
it didn't
think
light
so.
anything up for me. I thought it was
I
selected,
think
but... Oh, there it is.
Foundry died.
Somebody died?
Yeah, my computer died.
Oh, God. I'm just... All right, hang in there. I won't go too far. Let's see what this says. You follow the passageway. As narrow as it is, it's tight, Dane. It's tight, Elias. It's hard slipping through here at times, but you manage your way to push forward. It's dank and it's wet. At the north end of this small cave, this cavern opens into a small cave at its northmost end, after where the torch is currently located. This is the mouth of a swampy, flooded cavern. It yawns out in a northern direction. Before you see a few ruined rowboats lying in heaps on the floor before you, Dane, Elias. Strewn next to tangled coils of rope, remnants of pulleys, a pulley system perhaps. They hang from the ceiling. This is what you see at the moment. This wreckage of ruin and boats sprawled out before you. This is what you see. You think about what you want to do. I'm going to read a little bit. Oh boy. I kid.
I do have to get off in 9 minutes, though.
You do. I see it. I'm looking
Yes.
at that clock. Any minute now she's going to say something.
Does this
Go ahead.
things from the ceiling look like the things that Dane saw back in that other hallway? Like, does the construction seem similar?
The hallway. Where?
The hidden hallway that Dane found.
Oh, that one passage it didn't go down?
Yeah.
Not at all. It's totally different. Now, if I'm correct, what you can see currently, you see all these boats in front of you. There's a whole bunch of them. You see like some stairs to the right on the eastern side. Do you see those stairs?
I don't
Yeah.
see anything but the room here. And I clicked on the torch a dozen times. Can't see it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what you did for me, but as soon as I said something, you must have done something because I can see it now.
You should be able to see a little bit more than that. All right, well, let me try and move your token up. Dane, your actual token. Let me bring him up into the room and see if that makes any difference.
Oh, yeah. Now I can see.
Maybe it's because your tokens are on the map, too. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
All right, let me delete the tokens. See what happens, Elias. It should automatically put you on that torch.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, now I can see.
All right, let me take Dane off the map.
I can still see.
All right. Okay. Can you see the set of steps to the right?
Yes.
You can see further north as well. There should be another passage there.
Yes, sir.
All right, well,
Yep,
this...
and there's some water too.
There is. This is what you see. So you think for a second as we close in on 10:30. And let me look at this a little bit. Okay. What would you like to do? You're at the mouth of this little cave here. You could step through the wreckage if you want. If you're curious what lies to the north or what lies to the east there with the steps, let me know and I'll move you further in. If you'd like to check for anything, maybe glance around with a seek action, you never know. Whatever you'd like to do, state that now before I move you any further.
All right, I'll make a perception check to see if I see anything.
Where are you looking? That's a 30-foot cone. Or emanation.
I'm looking in the wreckage.
The wreckage?
Like
Okay,
the boats.
go ahead and make a perception blind. Anybody else?
I'd like to make a perception check for listening for anything up this way, up
Okay.
to the north.
Okay. All right, you go ahead and make a roll as well.
All right, then I'll stand guard at the stairs and see what I can see at the stairway. Just at
Oh, you want to head
Here.
over to the stairs?
Just barely. I'll walk with Dane as he looks out this way, unless he's looking from this entry. I don't know
No.
where Dane's looking.
Dane moved up to there, yeah. So he's trying to look and listen.
All right, let me move you up
right.
through this wreckage.
We'll be kind of the same area.
Let me move the torch up there. That's where you are currently, and that's what you see. You can easily step through the wreckage. Doesn't seem to be anything out of place. Nobody senses anything or hears anything unusual. Dane, you are in the lead, correct? Yes.
Yes.
There's a passageway going to the north. You can see it. It's very earthy, and it looks like water is up ahead as well. Just then, right where the stone meets the earth, right in front of you, this is looking to the north, you notice something. Something like large tracks, footprints, perhaps some large beast left something behind in the mud. Right here where the earth meets the stone. Right about in... Come on, ping. Ping. Right there. If anyone would like to make a recall knowledge check, they can do so. However, in this case, you'd probably want to use Arcana or Arcana. So anyone who wants to make an Arcana recall knowledge check looking at the tracks, go ahead and do so. This will be blind. as expected.
And Dane will easily point them out. Looks like pretty big tracks over here.
I see a roll by Zion. Did you make a roll?
Yes, I wanted to ask real quick
Yes.
with hero points. If I use a hero point now, we just take the highest roll of the two?
Yes.
Okay,
I will take the... If you want to spend it, go ahead and do it.
I'm gonna spend a hero point and give myself another roll. That should be the same thing.
You're looking at it, Dane, and everyone else who's been looking in this area. At first, Farley, doesn't seem anything out of ordinary. It looks like some type of small creature, really, walking through your three toes. But then you see it. That's only the tip of its footprint, for it is actually much larger. And you see it now clearly. This is the drake they speak of, and you're convinced of it. This is a big dragon. This is what you think in your head. You found footprints off to the north. Seems to be heading in that direction. That's what I'm trying to say. So essentially, it's a good thing you used a hero point. That was a really smart use of a hero point. Your first roll sucked. I just want to say that, but that's a perfect example of using one of those hero points when you can't even see the rolls. So that was pretty good of you. But yeah, you definitely identified something here of meaning, and nobody else saw it but you. You caught a glimpse of a much larger print that is, in fact, a drake. Something like a large, dragon-type creature that would probably dwell in swamps or something, you think? But, yeah, that's what you found out. And it's heading to the north. Now, as far as the east is concerned, you see those steps going there? Just tell me one thing. Do you want to head north? Do you want to head east? Or do you want to just pause and think about it? Because Elias seems to have gone into a meditative state, or will shortly. So,
I'm fine with whatever decision you guys make.
yeah.
I'm good with pausing. Just should be a group decision to get TPK'd by a drake.
You want to do that then? You want to make your decision next session? Or do you want to make it now and say, okay, we're heading north, and then we'll end it there? However you want to do it.
Leroy Jenkins.
Come on, don't make me roll dice to determine which way you go.
All right, let's.
That's
Let's
head
Let's
north.
just hold
Let's head
off
north.
until next session.
Yeah.
Or I'm fine with that.
All right. I like to have a cliffhanger, but this one's a decision maker instead. That's okay. That's okay. All right. So let me shut down the stream. Rachel, if you have to pop out now, that's okay. Thank you for
Yes.
playing along. It was good fun again.
Yes, it was a good time, and I'm glad we're not dead.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
had
we were
5
all
hit points.
teetering. Yeah, like I think we were all teetering in there. Like I think if the strong gust of wind would have hit us, it would have been a KO.
Yeah, I had to back away for a second because I swear I'm like, if that thing crits on me, I
Yeah.
will be dead. Like, not
Yeah.
just dying, no, dead.
Done deal.
Yeah, like I think I was down to 2. I think you were down to what, 3 or 4?
I had 5. Lowest I had was 5.
I got knocked down to my standard 2.
Whew.
Seems to be a running theme.
Sorry, I just need to make sure I've got my focus points. That's what I need to focus on my focus point so
Yeah.
I can heal you guys.
You did good. You're all set. You're reasonably healed. You know what's going on. You seem to be bouncing off these dwellers within the caves. bouncing off their little side quests and missions they keep putting you on. Now you've got another little mission to work with. That's good. As adventurers, yes, coin. Bring it on. And we'll see where that leads. But at the moment, you have some thinking to do. And before the next session next week, if you ever come up with something like some questions, throw them at me. And we'll go from there. But right now, this is where we're going to end it. This is what it looks like. And before you is some mud and water. And to the east lies steps leading to nowhere. Well, there's a door at the end of that corridor there. So there is that. And behind you is all these ruined boats, pulley system above, all kinds of weird stuff. So you think about that. And we'll pick up from there. Think about which way you want to go. So yeah, we'll end it there.
Have a good night.
All right, take care, Rachel.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
All right, night.
Toodaloo. And folks, I'm going to shut off the stream here. We're probably going to linger a little bit and talk about the session a little bit. But folks, thanks for watching. And I got to bring these two videos together because there's two separate live streams, unfortunately, because I accidentally shut the stream off. But all is well, all is good. You guys say goodbye. Dane, Jesse, Patrick. Say goodbye.
Farly-Tel says goodbye from Otari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a quick one for me, but hopefully next time I will be here longer.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, to arms.
Good night, my friends. Once again, I want everybody to stand up and give Mr. Fret's man a round of applause for putting together another awesome session for us.
The struggle is real.
To play
The
around
struggle
in.
is real.
Knocking me down to 2 HP, but he hasn't got the KO yet.
It's getting there,
So,
Dane.
yeah, we're getting really close. But y'all have a good night once again. Everybody thank Fritz for putting in the time and the effort for doing this for us. And salute, my friends. We'll see you on the next one.
See you, folks. Till next time, you guys hang in there. It's only going to get better. Toodaloos.